Hello, hi, and welcome to Struggle is Real. I'm Victoria, and every Sunday at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I sit down and write for 10 minutes. And I'm sorry I'm late because I had technical difficulties again, and I'm figuring out this YouTube. It's fun, but it's also terrifying, but it's more fun than it's terrifying. So thank you for your patience. This is a very quick writing session that I decided that I need to do for myself because in order to overcome my own perfectionistic blocks and procrastinations, and from my experience and knowing people, I am aware that I'm not the only one in this position. So I decided to reach out to more than just friends and go live on YouTube. So this is for everybody, all kinds of people, all kinds of writers. Doesn't matter if you're fiction, nonfiction, if you're aspired writer or non-inspired writer or perspired writer. It was funny on paper when I wrote the script. Anyway, essayist or columnist, or you have a high school assignment, or you're in college, or you're a PhD student with the millions of pages that is draining you, or you have a job application to fill in, you're looking for a job, or maybe you need to rewrite your resume. So anyway, I learned that the best way to get going on your main task is changing the subject. By changing the subject, I mean doing something completely different. With the writers, it can be writing about something completely different. And we've been doing this in the past episode, but this time I decided to go a little deeper. And coincidentally, last night I was watching a YouTube video by a very cool guy who was talking about the non-dominant hand sketching or drawing. And I remembered that there's such a technique called non-dominant handwriting. And that helps reach the creative and more intuitive brain side of our brain and get out of the logical and more pragmatic side of ourselves, which is very well developed throughout our upbringing and societal norms. There's nothing wrong with it. It's amazing. However, it's not enough for a creative person to operate on this level, especially for those of us who want to get out of their own way. So the non-dominant handwriting can be very surprising. Well, let me rewind a little bit. I mentioned intuition. You got to be very careful with intuition because intuition can be easily be mistaken for fear-based assumptions, which is not an intuition at all. And I just wanted to mention this. And developing intuition is a great skill. And one of the ways to do so is to use your non-dominant hand for certain tasks, like brushing your teeth. In our case, the writers can utilize it to do some live stream consciousness writing. If I say this correctly, I think we already talked about this. Anyway, for today, I prepared 3 prompts, very simple prompts. And if you write with your right hand, please give it a try. It's only for 10 minutes to write with your left hand and vice versa. So the first prompt for today is what are your writing goals? And number 2 is who's your inspiration? Number 3 is favorite teacher or mentor. Basically, these 3 prompts are for different types of people, and you can choose all of them or one of them, or maybe ask yourself a different question you'd like to get intuitive answer for. But be mindful that answering the questions with your non-dominant hand, especially if you're right hand writer and you try to write with your left hand, things get weird. Things can get weird. So I warn you anyway, but it's worth it. So with that, let's get into the writing session for 10 minutes. And I'm gonna put up a timer, and I'm also gonna put up the prompt for those who might join us later. And I hope you have fun with it. Let me put the timer on. So, ready, set, go. Okay. And the time is up. Welcome back, everybody. One thing I forgot to mention is when you start writing with the non-dominant hand, it looks like really gibberish, and that's normal. And I forgot to mention in advance, and I'm sorry for that, because the non-dominant hand is not used to writing, so it doesn't make sense, but it has a feeling, and I think it doesn't even matter if you can read it or not, but it was really honest answers that I got out of myself. And it's possible to maybe improve the writing, but it's not about the writing at all. And I tried to improve my writing at some point. I tried to improve my writing with my non-dominant hand in order to be able to reread it. But then I realized it is inhibiting my speed of writing, and my thoughts get interrupted, so I don't care. As long as it's on the paper, it did its job. And I would like to come back to this technique more often, not just once, but time after time. I would like to do this because I love doing this, and I forget how good it is and how useful for the brain to exercise a little bit. Surprise! I tricked you. Anyway, I hope that somebody has, I only have one viewer. I'm pretty sure it's my mom. Thank you, Mom. And if by any chance somebody, you, who will find this video at some later point and rewatch it, I hope it will help you. And if you have any other suggestions, like comments, criticism, please email me. You can write comments, but if you'd like to be anonymous, email me. And at the end of the day, I am convinced, I'm not just convinced, I know that it's very powerful when a writer to writer connects in a meaningful way. And even though we're not in the same room, physical space, I am hoping that I'm able and I'll be able to connect with another writer struggling the same way as I am. And together we can unstruggle, get unstuck. Well, this was fun. Thank you for being with me. Thank you for writing with me and for yourself. And I will see you next Sunday.